What's up everybody, this is KG. Today I'm going to be doing a review on my Andis Slimline Pro Li cordless trimmer. Before I get into the details of this trimmer, let me just tell you I've had this since July of 2018, so I've had this for over a year now, closing in on 2 years. So this review will give you details about the trimmer, but also my experience using it for about 2 years. I also made a tutorial showing how I trim and line up my beard, and I have used this trimmer in that video. So I'll leave a link to that at the bottom of this video for any of you who are interested, so you can see how this trimmer cuts in action. So I saved the box that the trimmer came in, and this is the box right here. I bought it off Amazon for about 90 bucks at the time. So I'm not sure if the price is similar now or maybe it's come down a bit, but at the time it was a fairly new trimmer. Now on the box it tells you that it is best for trimming necklines and light duty touch-ups. And it has a lithium ion battery with up to 2 hours of runtime on a single charge. And it takes about 2 hours and 15 minutes to do a full charge on here if the battery is completely dead. On the back side it shows you a picture of the trimmer. It shows you that it comes with 4 guards, a brush, oil, a charging stand, and a power cord. So now I'm going to tell you some of the cool things I like about this trimmer. Number 1, it is cordless. This means you can do a lineup without having any cords or anything in the way. So you're able to maneuver this any way you like without any kind of cord issues. The second really good thing about this is that it is lightweight, is very light. So there's not much weight to it, and again that also helps with maneuverability, and depending how much hair you're cutting, you won't get tired. Another thing to keep in mind is that I'm giving you this review as a person who cuts their own hair, styles their own beard, and does pretty much everything independently at home. And the way I'm going to explain this to you is more for home use and personal use versus being in a barber shop. Because in a barber shop there would be more heavy duty use for something like this. And for me, I really just use this for myself. And also I cut my father's hair, so once in a while I'll use it for him. And very rarely I may have a friend or somebody I will do a small touch up for or a haircut for as a courtesy. But other than that, it's pretty much just for me. So the next thing I like about this is that it has a nice ergonomic design to it. It has a nice shape to it. So when you're holding it, it actually fits in your hand really nicely. I find it easy to hold and easy to maneuver. So if I'm trimming my hair or lining up my beard, I pretty much can do this in a very comfortable manner. Now because this is a liner, I would not really recommend using the guards on here. I would use a different type of hair clipper or a regular clipper to do something like that. But I would recommend only using this liner to do the actual shape of your line if you have access to another clipper to actually trim down your hairs. That being said, I did do a test run yesterday just to give it a shot and see how the 1/16 guard would work. And the beard lineup you see on my face today was actually done trimming it down with the 1/16 and then lining it out with this right afterwards as well. So I used only this trimmer to come up with this beard lineup. So I'll come closer so you can have a better look at it. So I think it came out good. It looks pretty good. It gave me a pretty even cut all the way through. And then afterwards I lined up my beard just fine. And of course I always finish off with a blade to clean up the ends and cut it down to the skin area. If you do need to attach the guards, they go on pretty easy. You can put it from the top and you just snap it into place. And then when you want to cut, you just turn it on and off. I also like the look of this trimmer. It looks like it's metal, but it's actually a ABS polymer body with a brushed nickel finish. So it looks like metal, but it's really a light plastic. And like I said, it makes it very lightweight as well. Now for the blade. It is actually an Andis D8 T-blade. It is quite sharp. And when you purchase it, it comes out of the box and it is a little bit further apart. So you will have to bring it closer to making it into a zero gap. In my case, I haven't exactly zero gapped it, but I brought it pretty close. So when you're looking at it from up close, it is almost zero gapped, but not quite. So you can set this to your own preference. I actually had it at a zero gap right from the beginning, but for me, I like to put a little bit of pressure on my blades And when it's zero gap in my neck area, I have nicked myself a few times, so I set it back a little bit so I can put the pressure that I like to put when I'm cutting my line. And for me, this is a perfect setup right here. So you gotta experiment for yourself, find out what works for you. Now this is the stand that you can keep your cordless trimmer in. I usually just plug it straight into the cord. This can actually disconnect from here. So you can plug it directly from here, or you can put it on the stand. So for me, I typically do it this way. I'll plug it right into here, straight. And then you can see once you plug it in, it lights up with a green LED light. And when it's done charging, that light will actually turn off. And this is almost fully charged right now, so it may turn off right now as we're speaking. Should go out anytime now. There we go, now it went out. And that means it's fully charged. So the secondary option is you can plug it into the stand. Just turn it on for a sec just so that a little battery goes so you can see. Once you put it in here, and it's lit back up here, so it can charge on the stand or you can plug it in directly. My own personal experience using this battery life wise, it does last pretty much the 2 hours. I've used this many times without having to recharge it. And I have actually used it to the very end one time just to see what happens. And it pretty much works full strength until the battery dies and it just stops. Now, if you're in the middle of cutting your hair and that happens to you, you can actually plug it in and continue using it and then recharge it later. But really, you shouldn't run out of battery life with this liner here. You should pretty much plug it in after a couple of uses and then let it fully charge, and you'll always have enough battery life to cut your hair. So one thing I will say about this blade is that it cuts really well. I would say the strength of this motor in here is pretty good. It's not as good as my Andis outliner, which has a much stronger motor, but this motor is pretty powerful. And for me, it cuts my hair and gives me really, really sharp lineups in a compact, mobile, cordless liner. It's also very ideal for traveling. If you're going on trips, you can charge this up one time, pop it in your bag, do your entire trip without having to charge it again, and come back maybe 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. If you're going on a longer trip, you wouldn't even need to charge it. And you can use it to keep your beard lined up and do other touch-ups every couple of days and keep yourself looking sharp your entire trip. And like I said, you can even use the guard system on this. For my own test, it actually worked all right. So if you're going on a trip and this is the only thing you can take with you, you can do a pretty good trim job and lineup job with this if needed. But my recommendation would be mostly or almost always use it as a liner if you can, and get a proper clipper to do trim downs and things of that nature. So just wanted to mention, this is the Andis trimmer oil that comes with it, so you can use that to keep your blade oiled up. And also there's this hair removal brush that you can use to keep your trimmer clean. I use a toothbrush myself just to get more surface area, but at least they provide you something with this package. All in all, as a modern liner, I would definitely recommend getting this liner. It is very useful, very handy, and I love using it. And like I said earlier, you can set this to your own liking. You can zero gap it if you want in order to get a really, really sharp lineup. And it actually gives you a very sharp professional barber quality lineup. Now, I also wanted to give you one little comparison of the motor strength. I'm gonna compare it to my actual corded Andis outliner, just so you get an idea. The Andis outliner is definitely a stronger motor, but this one holds up well, like I said earlier. So I'll do the outliner first. And the Slimline now. So if you listen to that, the original Andis is a little bit quieter and the motor seems stronger. This one has a little bit more noise to it, but not much, and it is still really, really good. So for a cordless trimmer, I think this is amazing. Honestly, I have no complaints about it, and I would recommend it to anybody who's looking for a good quality trimmer and liner for their beard, for their face lineup, for their neckline, for the back of their neck, all that kind of stuff is very good. For someone like me, this is probably gonna last me for the next 10 to 20 years easy. Even if for some reason the lithium ion battery was to die on it, I could still use it as a plug-in. But to be honest with you, if this was to die after 10 years, I would probably just buy a new one, and for 90 bucks, you can't go wrong. At the end of the day, I save a lot of money by not going to a barber, and all that money can go back into investing in decent quality tools. I am a firm believer in buying some decent quality tools even if you're doing some home barbering. Don't get the cheap stuff, get something good, because at the end of the day, the money you're going to save from not having to go out for haircuts and things like that, you're easily going to save that money and make it back, and you'll have decent quality tools, and you'll probably never need to replace them for a long time. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you use this trimmer or if you have your own trimmer which you use, and let me know about those ones as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share this video with all of your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so. Take care, and we'll see you guys again next time. Peace.